I'm Mr. Malibu with Malibu HD Power News, and today here we are with Eyong, who just published his book, The Vision of the Blind King. He's featured in the Malibu Times this week, creating a buzz factor in Malibu, and I'd like to ask Ako, what do you want people to get from reading your book?
Well, Mr. Malibu, thank you very much for this question. When I wrote this book, my intention was to inform society about the pitfalls that befell the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Romans, the Babylonians, the Persians. If you read history, you realize that these were all great societies, they were all great empires. They rose, but they all fell, and none of them exist today. And looking around our present society, I think that we are teetering on the precipice of extinction. And so in writing this book, my intention was to inform society on where we are as a nation, as a people, as a society, and suggest solutions. In other words, things that could be done in order to change the direction in which we are going. Because I really believe that if nothing is done, if we keep on going the way we are going, it is just a matter of time before the shit hits the fan. I have been an artist all my life, and one of the things I did as an artist was cartooning. And after I graduated from college, I got the job as a cartoonist for Cameroon's biggest privately owned English-speaking paper. You have to bear in mind it's a 30-year-old dictatorship.
Okay, Ako, so I'd like to know, why do you think somebody in the United States would want to read this book?
The world is now a global community. The United States is part of that global community. And if you've lived in this country long enough, you will realize that things are changing, and they're changing very, very fast. The things that are acceptable on TV today were not acceptable 20 years ago. Today it's all violence, it's sex, the truth about it is that our society is becoming very, very decadent. And one thing you can be sure of is that the ancient Egyptians, the Romans and the Persians and all of these great ancient societies all got to this place. It was when they had the best economies, they had the richest country on earth, but they also had the most decadent society. Those combination of factors is a strong signal that if nothing gets done right, it's all going to go to hell. A lot of wealth requires a strong spiritual foundation for it to be managed properly and for the benefactors of that wealth to gain from it. Without the strong spiritual foundation, wealth becomes a curse. This is the richest country on the face of the earth. If we do not do what we have to do or what we need to do, the wealth of America is going to become the curse of America. This ocean is made up of tiny, tiny, tiny invisible water droplets, right? And I think that that is the solution to our problem. Let us use peace as an example. The only way we can find peace on this planet is when every individual finds peace within themselves. If every person can find peace in their own lives, then it becomes much more easier for us to come together and form an ocean of peace. And so therefore, the solution prescribed in this book is a solution that has to be imbibed on an individual level. If we can do that, if everybody can do their part, the problem would be solved overnight. And it doesn't take too much. It doesn't take too much. And so I think it's a very, very practical solution if people are willing to do the little part that they have to do.
I've heard a lot of widespread reports, especially with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas a couple of weeks ago, talking about the meltdown of the movie industry itself and the paradigm of making movies. But I'd like to ask you why you think this book should be a major feature film.
To me, the answer is very, very simple. It should be a very, very major feature film for the simple reason it would help guide us towards safer waters. Because If all the movies that we make are movies that do not teach us how to steer the boat, it is just a matter of time before we become like the Titanic. So I think it should be made into a very major feature film in order for our Titanic to avoid the iceberg.
So, Akko, what kind of unique insight can a reader bring away from this book?
The most important thing we have on this planet is people. If we think about that and we realize that we have to make decisions that do not just help us, decisions that help other people, basically do unto other people as you would like them to do unto you. If the President of the United States got up in the morning with that ideology, if the head of the IMF got up with the morning with that ideology, if the person who is making movies in Hollywood got up with that ideology, everything would change. All decisions would be based off of that paradigm. It would change everything. Everything. It's about love. It's about love.